Hey, it is Coach Kinsey Shae with Heart Space. Like, subscribe, do all that fun jazz. Today, I really wanted to talk because I, about how to be your own advocate in your health when facing illness, empowering yourself to speak up for your health. This is near and dear to my heart because I have had an extensive journey and I'm here to inspire you to empower yourself in your health journey. Now, I put the acronym SPEAK. SPEAK is seek advice. P is promote yourself to speak up. E is educate yourself. And A is ask questions. And K is keep records. Now, I'm going to kind of go into my story and then break down speak and why it's such a passion for me, because we have a tendency to feel very disempowered in our health journey. We have a tendency to feel like a victim, that life is doing something to us, and we have a tendency to blame others for our circumstances. But in doing so, we relinquish our power and we feel powerless. Because I have been in a little bit about me, you know, I, I'm so blessed to speak on a TEDx stage this year, release my book, Warrior Surgery Mindset, The Seeds of Resilience, coach beautiful souls in their surgical journey and transformation journey to take their power back. But it hasn't always been that way. You see, I was in a car accident, almost lost my life, my arm, and ended up in a wheelchair. I found myself making one with the couch, with the 35 pills that the doctors prescribed to me, the wheelchair right next to me, looking up at where I used to be, a nurse, a traveling nurse that saw the United States. But I was like a puddle on the floor in my head. I didn't feel worthy. I felt alone. And I felt so ashamed of my current state. But in that moment, I asked God for help. And I had something come across my screen that said, "You have it in you. You are your own rescue." At first, I couldn't really believe that I was my own rescue. I was too far removed. But I kept listening because I felt so dead inside. Do you ever feel like your illness defines every aspect of your life? You can't do the things you used to do. You can't show up. You can't be. In that moment, when I made a declaration and I surrendered to new possibilities, I took my power back. And that is what led to my passion to help people take their power back in their health journey. I was in healthcare as a nurse in nursing for over 20 years. And I saw it from that perspective. But in that moment, I saw it from the patient's perspective, feeling lost and feeling like I was a victim to the insurance companies, to the healthcare, navigating all the doctors that don't communicate to one another. I realized I had to be my own advocate, like I was for my patients as a nurse. And it's led to my passion to empower you to be the best version of yourself in your health and life. Because it's time to take our power back, to have responsibility in ourselves, and advocate for ourselves, that we are not dis-ease, we are ease. So seek advice. I really recommend always getting a second opinion, because we have to court our doctors just like we do in relationships. It has to be in alignment with our core beliefs. If you are more of a natural way that you want to be proactive in your health, seek a doctor that understands that. I'm not saying it's easy to find. I'm not saying that it's not difficult, but doing the easy thing lets us off the hook, and it costs us more in the end. So I really recommend getting a second opinion. Now, P, promote yourself to speak up. If you have concerns, questions about your treatment or care, speak up. Let your healthcare team know. You are your best advocate. I really invite you not to become a victim in your care, leaving it up to your doctors to make the best decision, because let's face it, the doctors have certain guidelines, certain time limits, and mountains of paperwork to do. So they're not always just focused on what's present in the office when you're talking to them. So being your advocate to speak up. If they're telling you, A, this is the diagnosis, and C, this is the plan, and you don't understand how it correlates, the B, ask the B. Be your advocate. Empower yourself to speak up. And a key component is E, educate yourself. Now, when I say educate yourself, don't do the standard Google search, because there is a lot of stuff that is not peer reviewed, that is purely, people's opinions. And I'm not discounting that, but you can go on Google Scholar. You can look at reputable organizations like Mayo Clinic, like Johns Hopkins, and look at their case studies to move forward in your healthcare. So I really empower you to educate yourself, and you just be at one with the diagnosis. Acknowledge and accept where you are, be present so you can move forward. Now, A, it's kind of a repetition, but ask questions. I'm empowering you to ask, because it's so important to ask questions, because you are responsible for your health. It's not your doctor, it's not the nurses. They are there to facilitate it, but it is your responsibility to be knowledgeable, to educate yourself, to speak up and ask questions. And K is keep records. It may seem daunting to keep, especially if you have an extensive medical history. I encourage you to use your notes in your phone. Each doctor's office, put down the key points, the reason why you went to the doctor's recommendations, the therapies and the meds they recommended, and the questions you asked to get clarity on. And now we're moving more in the digital age. Most facilities, most doctors have a MyChart patient portal, and you can link those so that you have all of your medical records at your fingertips. And I really encourage you to be on top of the technology so that you can pull up all of your diagnostics, all of your tests, all of your consultations, all of your notes, so that you can advocate for the best possible care and take responsibility for your care. Now, some of you might get triggered or activated with me saying take responsibility. It should be up to the doctor. It should be up to the nurse. Our healthcare system, in my opinion, is very much broken. It's very much dependent upon insurance. It's very much dependent on if it's covered. It's very much dependent on time constraints. And it's not, there's responsibility on all parts. But the most important point is taking responsibility for yourself, to educate yourself, to ask questions, to promote yourself to speak up. And you can do this by taking records. My passion, my mission is to be your cheerleader, to be your coach, to be your guide in your journey, to cultivate a mindset that empowers you, that you are not your circumstances. It's defined by how you react to them. Yes, this takes work, but like I said earlier, easy will cost you later. Taking the time and taking accountability for yourself in your health journey can elevate you to a new state. Because if I would have went to the victim mindset when I was in the wheelchair, when I almost lost my arm, I would not be on your screen right now. I would not have spoke on a TEDx. I would not be coaching people on mindset, warrior mindset to overcome your health challenges. So I challenge you today to speak, to empower yourself, because we give our power away when we don't ask, when we don't get second opinions, when we don't seek advice. Seeking advice might look like going on a support, Facebook group or any other kind of group. It might look like going to a counselor. I mean, recently I had, historically, I've had issues with UTIs and interstitial cystitis. And if you have had that, it can be a tenuous journey because it can affect so much in your life with the frequent urination, the pain, trying different antibiotics. But this time I tried Eucora and they had a Facebook group. And I saw thousands of women that have gone through UTIs and interstitial cystitis and the challenges they have with healthcare. Now, I'm based in the United States, so I'm talking primarily about the United States healthcare system. And it gives you a sense of empowerment because you know you're not the only one going through this. Because we have a tendency to isolate ourselves and feel that we're not enough and blame other people because it's based on fear. Once we can uncover our fear, we can move forward to empower ourselves, to step and reset each and every day. And I encourage you to do, it can become overwhelming. In my journey, I just moved to a new place and I saw a primary care doctor that was not in alignment with my core values of being natural, with asking, when I asked questions, she did not answer. So I empower you to change doctors if it's like courting. You don't just pick somebody. Think of it like an ad, like on the apps for dating. You don't just pick somebody, and just because you pick somebody, you stay with them. If they're not in alignment with you, you move on to the next. So I empower you to, court your doctors, meaning write down 3 core values in your health, whether it is natural, whether you are very proactive in your health. Just really, for me, I tell my doctors I am more of a natural, proactive, knowledgeable patient, meaning I don't want the standard protocol. I don't want just another pill to take. And because of that, I'm not on prescription medications for maintenance. Yes, there is a time for medications. Like with the UTI, I am taking antibiotics. But this is for you. This is your responsibility to figure out what is important to you. Because you are not your illness. You are not your label. You are magical. You are beautiful. And I honor and celebrate you for what you're going through and the positive decisions that you make each and every day. And yes, it doesn't look pretty some days. Some days are rougher than others. But no, tomorrow is another day. You can reset, recalibrate, and reconnect to reclaim you each and every day. So like and subscribe and do all that fun jazz. My name is Coach Kinsey Shae, resilience coach, surgical mindset coach, Lisa Nichols, transformational coach and trainer, heart math, trauma-sensitive practitioner, your guide to your essence, to your truth, to self-discovery and alignment. So speak and empower yourself to speak for your health. Because at the end of the day, it is our responsibility to cultivate change in our healthcare. And being on the nurse side and the patient side, I really, in my heart of hearts, feel that something needs to change in healthcare. I don't know all the answers. And my wish, my dream, my goal is to get like-minded people together to cultivate a movement to give patients their power back, to give healthcare professionals their power back so they're not totally tied in with insurance and protocols are important, but sometimes the patient care suffers in the process. So this is not a monologue. This is a dialogue. I really encourage you to write below your struggles, what you're working for. If you are, a healthcare professional, write down your struggles on how the system is limiting you on how you provide care. Because I know when I was a nurse, I was very constrained to time. I was very constrained that I couldn't educate my patients on their care. And I couldn't give advice on proactive management. I only could give advice on the medications that the doctors prescribed. So there's limitations on both parts, but that does not define and that does not give us an excuse not to be responsible and advocate for change. So have a blessed day. And I love joining you on Heart Space. And I look forward to speaking to you next week. And I'm going to kind of be talking about health this month and how to empower yourself. So light, love, and gratitude.